Sexual assault introduction. Sexual assault has been an ongoing problem throughout time, but within the past years, actions have been taken to comfort women in coming forward about their assaults. As we continue to spread light on the statistics and facts, the rate of unreported cases will go down because women won't be scared to come forward. According to the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Networks, also known as RAINN, every 73 seconds a sexual assault occurs. Furthermore, 1 in 5 women on college campuses are sexually assaulted. These numbers, just to begin with, are scary and heart-wrenching. Sharing information on who is most likely targeted, who is most likely to assault a female, what being sexually assaulted truly means, how many cases aren't reported, long-term effects of victims, and the reproductive health effects that women can face, all will help the rate of sexual assault narrow down. Between 18 and 24 were peaked. Women who are enrolled in college are 3 times more likely to be assaulted than those between 18 and 24 years old not in college. These numbers answers the question of who is most likely targeted and who is most likely to be assaulted. Another question that we addressed in our research was how many cases are not reported. Roughly about 1/6 of women report their cases in this age category, which comes down to 16%. Therefore, there is an 84% of cases that go unreported, according to RAINN. The last mathematical question we asked is who take parts in assaulting females. 51% of women report being raped by an intimate partner, and 40% report an acquaintance assaulting them. It's not very likely to be assaulted by a stranger. It is more likely to be someone who knows the female and has a close relationship with her. So we asked 3 critical questions. First being, what are long-term effects of being assaulted? 94% of women who are sexually assaulted will experience PTSD within the following 2 weeks. This may also arise depression and suicidal actions or thoughts while the victim is replaying what happened in their head or just thinking about it over and over. The other question we asked was, what different types of sexual assault can take place? Rape can consist of any type of sexual intercourse without permission or with any object, or being too intoxicated to give consent, or not being able to think clearly. Lastly, we asked what reproductive health effects are caused. Adolescent pregnancy can have serious effects on women and the child, including miscarriages, stillbirth, nutritional deficiency, chronic pain, disability, and non-communicable diseases, such as cancer. If we were to ask further questions on this topic, we would ask how prone women are to HIV and STDs and other infections and diseases if they're sexually assaulted. We would also ask, what about the children who witness intimate partner violence and how that affects their lives growing up? Lastly, we would ask, how many women are stalked by past partners or by someone who knows the woman before they are sexually assaulted? Now we are going to go further in depth on the rate of sexual assault. So how is our rate defined? Our rate is reported by victims of sexual assault. Data can be collected by a variety of places such as schools, government organizations, police stations, etc. We define our rate by measuring the reported numbers of those sexual abuse given at a time.
Now, who uses this rate? Many people use this rate for many different reasons, especially women. Women seek out the sexual assault statistics to make important decisions in their lives. They may take sexual assault statistics into account when choosing which college to go to. For example, they may choose to go to a smaller school because larger elite schools show higher rates of sexual assault. Women may also choose to work places with the least amount of sexual harassment claims filed. Women use the statistics to decide where they are safe and decide on the places they need to avoid. Administrators of institutions also use this rate to decide if they have themselves a safe institution by reviewing the statistics showing up within their businesses, schools, etc. They take statistics into account when deciding if they need to take action to correct things such as sexual assault. Thankfully, sexual assault rates have decreased over the years according to Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, aka RAINN statistics, in 2016. The rate of sexual assault and rape has fallen 63% since 1993, from a rate of 4.3 assaults per 1,000 people in 1993 to 1.2 per 1,000 in 2016. Raised awareness over the subject and increased education on why sexual assault happened and why it is wrong has been very beneficial for the mission to end sexual assault. Two rates that relate to sexual assault are gender discrimination in the workplace rates and the rate of child brides being forced to marry in economically burdened countries. According to Pew Research Center, about 4 in 10 working women in the United States say they have faced discrimination in the workplace. Among employed adults, women are about twice as likely as men to say they have experienced at least one of 8 specific forms of gender discrimination at work. Additionally, women are roughly 4 times as likely as men to state that they have been treated as if they were not competent solely because of their gender, and they are about 3 times as likely as men to say they have experienced repeated small slights at work because of their gender. One can clearly see how this topic relates to the topic of sexual assault because discrimination is one thing that can very easily lead to sexual assault. Another topic that relates to the rates are young girls being forced to marry. Every year, 12 million girls married before the age of 18. Child marriage happens across countries, cultures, and regions. In the world, 1 in 5 girls are arranged to be married before the age of 18. This seems to be an extremely high number that may be surprising to some people because no one is talking about it. This is shocking, and people need to pay more attention to it. Both of these rates show that women are still looked upon as inferior to men. This is a belief in the inferiority. It is shown in workplace discrimination and unjust child marriages. It carries over the belief that sexual assault is a normal occurrence and keeps the rates of offenses steady.
Changing the definition would separate rape from sexual assault that would help lower the rate altogether, scaling it down in colleges, jobs, home life, and personal life. Looking more in details, Denver alone has 133 sexual assaults reported so far this year. That's basically 47.6 per month or 1.6 per day. The overall rate would change when the definition of rape and sexual assault are separated, since rape falls under the same category as sexual assault. By separating rape and sexual assault, it made it smaller for sexual assault by 16%.
Our definition focuses on how sexual assault is more than rape. We focus on educating individuals on how sexual assault is a broad term that can cover many areas. We define it as any unwanted sexual behavior that makes a person feel uncomfortable, threatened, or scared. It covers rape, forced or unwanted sex or sexual acts, child abuse, using power over a child to involve that child in sexual activity, indecent assault, indecent behavior before, during, or after an assault. The impact of us focusing on broadening the definition of sexual assault means that the rate in which we see sexual assault increases. Therefore, men and women are put into a better position to accurately report a type of assault that they've experienced. And research such as ours encourages individuals to report any sexual abuse.
Based on investigation of this rate, we recommend that more action be taken to end sexual assault because high rates of women are still being sexually assaulted. 1 in 5 women on college campuses have been sexually assaulted while being on campus. While it is great that people are more aware of this topic and taking precautions to stop the rise in the numbers of victims, and while it is great that the rate of sexual assault and rape has fallen 63% since 1993, it is not enough. Institutions think they have done enough, but 42% of working women are still being discriminated against in the workplace because of their gender. The root of the issue lies in how we raise our children, specifically our young boys. Why do some boys think it is okay to treat women wrongly? According to researchers, Through childhood, some boys internalize a cultural belief about masculinity, and this can lead to some unintended consequences. We recommend parents teach their children, of all genders, that harming another human being is wrong. It is simple, it is wrong.
Conclusion: what we have learned. What we have learned over the course of the project is the percentage and the high rate of sexual assault. In the aftermath of sexual assault or rape, victims and survivors can come face to face with extremely difficult and painful emotions. With learning these rates and numbers, this could help with future rates and to lower them. Applying this in the real world taught us a great deal of how important rates are, and especially applying these skills in the real world, such as jobs or starting a business properly.